This is me and my motorcycle. And this is Thomas and his motorcycle. We have decided to go on a road trip this spring. His Yamaha Tenere is in excellent condition. My old Cagiva, not so much. I have a long list of things I need to do. Can I manage to get it fixed in time to the trip? It starts and runs smoothly, so no problem. Unfortunately, there is. Luckily, I had my cell phone with me. Not luckily, really. I always keep my mobile phone handy, so I can record whatever might happen. So sorry for the bad recording quality and noise from the wind, but have to show you this. It's a beautiful day today. I've been driving around in my Cagiva just to test it out, see if it's reliable. It's not. So I have a new item on my task list: repair the engine. It just runs suddenly really poor. It's not firing on this one. If I'm lucky, maybe it's just the carbon buildup, maybe the spark plug isn't firing because of it's oily or something. That means this cylinder needs service, and I really know that the front cylinder has already been serviced, rebuilt. I think I have piston slap here. This really needs to be fixed, but I hope maybe to do that to the winter. No, I need to get it home. I got my wife to pick me up. I've been home, getting some tools. Start by inspecting the spark plug here. It's black, so let's try to clean it up first, see if that helps. Note to self: bring along some tools when going on a trip. Tools I'm using here is sandpaper, 120 grits, and then a wire brush. Let's see if I can get some sparks. Okay, let's try. Any spark? No, not at all. Next test, I'm taking off the other. Let's see, is it any spark here? The same spark plug. The positive attitude didn't help. Maybe it's just the spark plug being dirty and just clean it. Of course, it wasn't that simple. Front cylinder sparks fine, can swap around the spark plugs, and yeah, the rear cylinder doesn't get any power. Yeah, maybe it's just some loose wire, still being positive here. Just that all the wiring goes up under the tank, so now I need to take off the tank. So I've closed this. Luckily I fixed my fuel line, so I can close the shuts on both sides. I think I'll have to do this off camera. Now my fuel tank is there. This one is the one that is working. This seems to be a bit damaged. And this one is not working. The cable seems to be fine. So I will swap around the coils to see if I get spark on the opposite side. That did not go as I planned because the spark plug cable is not detachable from the coil as far as I can see. So what I did instead, I found this unit, probably some kind of electronic CDI engine unit. It has some cables to it, goes to the coil. So I just took these off, took them on again, twisted all the cables here, back and forth, and yeah, now it works. Not really sure what I did that solved the problem. That means just a bad connection, the wires. I'll just have to try to put everything together to see if it runs as normal. Few lines are back on, better test it. Listen here if it runs. Does run on both cylinders again. A bit not very clean at start, but I had a lot of gas in the system, of course, from driving it a while with the one cylinder. Then I started it with a bit of shock, so now it's a bit better. Hopefully I can get home. This is quite cumbersome. Hope this doesn't happen on a long trip. Okay. This was a couple of days ago, and I have to admit, I lost all the motivation. Hit rock bottom. It's like I was betrayed by my Elefant. Everything was going so smoothly. And yeah, then this happened. I had even checked out my task inspection. I've just taken off the tank, looked at everything. It looked to be in good shape. It was not. I should add to the story that I have been riding the motorcycle small trips the last week, and it has been working flawlessly. Maybe one or two times I have noticed like it skipped a bit. But yeah, I thought just, yeah, well, it's an old motorcycle. When I got it to start again and drove home, it was very rough at first. Yeah, like it had a cold. Eventually, it seems like it found its pace again and run very smoothly and nice the last few kilometers back home. If I was really lucky, it was just a cable, a loose cable. I'm not really sure what cable then, because nothing was really loose. I just wiggled around all the cables and then it started to work. So I'll do a better inspection now. Take off all cables, all connectors, clean them and put them back on and see if I can see some potential problem. If you have any experience with these Ducati engines, Monsters had it back in the 90s. It was like the L-shaped go-to Ducati engine. And I have seen that this electronics, the coils, and the CDI, the electronics unit, it has been used on multiple Cagivas and Ducatis. Maybe you are the one who know exactly what it most likely is. But wait a second, this CDI unit, let me take it off again. It was black, wasn't it? On the other side, wasn't that blue? Yeah, look at this. So one of these has been replaced previously. Let me just remove them from the bike here. I'll clean all the connectors anyway. So what I can do is, of course, to swap this around. So to the next time, maybe it's the front cylinder that stops firing if it happens again. I have to admit, I did some investigations when it comes to this CDI units. I'm not sure really what's the original one. I've seen someone mention that you shouldn't mix up the blue ones and the black ones because, yeah, they might origin from different bikes. This affects the timing. When, like, the faster you rev the bike, run the bike, the faster the timing, or you're advancing the timing. Normally, it might have a rev limiter on them, and yeah. This is supposed to be designed exactly for your bike. Have to check out if you know anything about these CDI units. Maybe I should buy 2 new ones to be sure. I'll also remove the coils and take off all the connectors so I can inspect them and clean them thoroughly. Luckily, it's not that complicated. 2 coils and 2 CDI units. I think maybe the black one is the original one. It just looks more original. Upon visual inspection, they look good. I can clean, of course, the connectors. I noticed that these spark plug caps were a bit loose, so I can just unscrew them and cut off a couple of centimeters and then put them back on so they are at least tightly connected. And then just make sure all the connections and see if there are some cracks or anything. Was one thing though I could see on the bike is that the way the cables have been routed onto the bike is a bit strange. I don't know, the previous owners or the ones doing repairs on this bike. For instance, this cable, you can see it's heavily damaged. I think it's been laying close to the cylinder walls and melted because it was strip tied along this engine mount, and I don't think that's where it's supposed to be. Same with this 12-volt master cable to the starter motor. It was also going up here, and it doesn't really make sense. And then it was too much cable here at the rear parts. So I think I've found the correct way to route the cables now, so it's actually not going to be visible when I put on the tank, and they're not going to touch any hot parts. I'll just do a simplified repair now, making it a bit better, and then I'll find a new sheeting here and replace it later on. The way I remove the clip from the plastic, I've just taken a 0.8mm sheet metal and made my specialized tool. This now goes into this small groove here, like this. And then I use a small wire brush. This looks pretty clean. I already cleaned the opposite part, and then I just check it that it is firm. And so far they feel firm, and I haven't found anything loose. Not sure if you can see this small stuff. I can flip up this small counter flippy thingy there so it doesn't fall out. And then just remember to put it in the right way. And then this one should be clean and should work nice into this. And here I've taken loose the next connector, and yes, I have written down the color codes. And I noticed that the plug had a greenish tint to it. Not sure if you can see it, but it's a slight greenish tint here. This could be the culprit, except this is the side that works. So, but maybe it's the same on the other side. Okay, so let's do some measurements here. So I'll just put one of the pins in one end, one in the other end. 4.82 to be precise, and this one 4.83. That has to be good readings. Then let's measure the coil. Let me test this one on one side. To the plus it says 11.68. To the negative 11.69, so it's the same. So let's compare it to the other one. 11.93, 11.92, 93. Okay, so I went all the way down to 200. I was actually now measuring up to 200 kilo ohms. Now I'm measuring much less. And now I can see there is 4.1 ohms in between of these connectors. On the other one, like this, it's 4.0. This was, of course, a very simplified diagnostics, but I found that if both of the coils are reading the same values, they're probably okay. It's very rare that both of the coils have exactly the same damage. If one reading is very different from the other, that's a sign that something is wrong, and then you need to look up how to measure it properly and what the numbers really should be. When you dial in the ohms here, the resistance, If you're out of the range, it will just show as shorted or as no connection at all, because you're outside of the readable range of the multimeter. Very much easier if you have a bit more professional than this one that can auto-adjust. But I think really it looks to be okay. So I'll just go ahead and clean all the connectors, put everything back as it should. I could definitely have done a better job here cleaning up the parts and rust protect, but I'm pretty sure this will not be the last time I'm visiting this problem. I'm not really sure if I found the real source of the problem. The connection, yeah, some of them was a bit corroded, some was a tiny bit loose. I changed a couple of the connectors, but I didn't find anything terribly wrong. I've swapped around the CDI unit, so if one of those fails, it will probably be the opposite cylinder. That can be an indication. Maybe, crossing fingers, this solves the problem. Just taking everything apart, cleaning it, putting it together. But the most irritating part is that this wasn't even a task. This happened randomly. I can't even check out one of my tasks here. And if that was not enough, I even found a new one. Take a look here at the throttle cable. This is not the OEM solution. Also, it has been a bit irritating. The cables are very long here and are actually blocking the instrument. So yeah, maybe I should do that now that I have removed the tank, because this, I can really see this is homemade. And I think for once this should be a very easy task, because it looks like the wire is aftermarket and it has a nut here. But okay, it's soldered. Exactly. Let's take a look. I'll definitely change these grips. I bought some heated grips. I'll replace them later. I can also see this wire has slight damage here. Doesn't look that good. Then the end, I think I know why this strange contraption was made here. This is quite loose. I would guess this is a universal cable and it does really fit. So maybe I'll make some improvements here. And this end here can be unscrewed like this. But it seems to be soldered in addition. So point of no return. Let's just hope I'm able to put this back on, but a bit shorter. I would assume maybe a heat gun is enough to melt this. It definitely was. One of the wires was damaged. Some of the strings was cut. But I found a bicycle wire, 5 millimeters on the outer diameter of the outer part. And the inner part was a bit thicker, but I think I can use it. I think everything is ready then to put on, just measure and figure out the length of the cables, shorten them. But what am I doing, you say? Taking off the handlebar? Well, I want to put on bar risers. So I want the handlebar to be a bit higher up and further forward. And later maybe I will like to move the foot pegs lower as well to just open it up. So I have bought some bar risers, and this bike has a very clever solution here. So I can actually move the handlebar a bit forward. Then I have 2 new bolts here. This will be really exciting to test out. think this will make the bike even better for me to ride. If not, easy to reverse it. At least I can check out task here, bar risers. Yes, easy score there. And I have several of those a bit easier tasks going on. So yeah, looking forward to that. And now I can measure out the length for my new wires. This is the one that is damaged. I will not be using this, so this will be my test. Finally, time for assembly, the fun part. You can see the bicycle cable. It's a bit thicker than the motorcycle cable that was on here, but when it comes to the flexibility, they seems to be approximately the same. So now I have cut them to length. So hopefully that's the correct size. I'm using this white grease to lubricate them. And then it's the threading part. And then the bicycle cable. So, what about this problem? The wire doesn't really fit to this adapter. It's very loose. Well, that's when a lathe come handy. So I made 2 of these. And it should fit perfectly over here. And then I can just give this a little nudge to hold it tightly at the end, just a tiny bit so it's not falling off. And then this now should be a perfect fit for this one. And this goes here. And maybe I should add solder to this to make sure it's not falling off, but for testing now I'll try without for a while. In case I still want to shorten it a bit more, then I don't need to desolder it again. The last part is just the adjustment. I find the spot where it barely starts to move. Then I decided to take one turn, a half and another half. So I have a little bit of play. Let me test it. Feels very good. The tank is put back on, ready for a test ride. I have to say this task list concerns me. Just one minor, non-important task done since the last time. The plan was to fix the front wheel, front brakes, remove some rust. This tire is probably 35 years old, so I will not go on a long trip without fixing the front of the bike, but a small test ride, yeah, that's the next thing to do. And I'll let you know if the engine still cuts out in the next episode. Hope to see you back.